You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop on the road of life. You can't stop. You can't stop moving. Keep move. Keep that pace. You switching to gear. Let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working. It's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady. Don't watch the clock go round. Cycle.
Greetings, my visionary dreamers. This is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, from yourself, from some real bull-ish. Listen.
We are learning, always turning later. Cannot stop the time. Always merging into lanes that better suit us as we ride. Switch it up. Switching to gear, let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working, it's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady, don't watch the clock go round.
Yeah, you're listening to Torelli and the Fuse. I really like this song, and y'all know it. It just really fits the show. But yeah, for those who are just tuning in, this is Chronicles of Living podcast show. The show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us normal folks. We just out here doing a damn thing the best way we can, you know? And this is a show that just talks about just real shit that goes on in our life, in the world, you know? I'm just here being transparent, sharing stories, talking about situations to help us all to grow, help us all to become better beings, to add in this world instead of just always taking. That's the reason for the show. And today's topic is, are you dumping your baggage on your kids? Is that what you're doing unconsciously? Because I don't think none of us plan to dump our baggage on our kids. Yeah, that's not what I think. I've been guilty of it. You know, that's a topic that, as I say in some of my shows, I could piss some people off, or some people can just find a light out of the show and pretty much decide that they want to get to the root cause of their baggage so they can stop dumping it on the kids. I mean, I think a lot of my shows, depending on your mindset and how open you are, it does have the ability to piss some folk off sometimes. But as I always say, these shows are not just for you, they're for me too. I don't just think about these topics, they just come to me from my spirit through conversation with people, you know, and I just run with it. I just believe as soon as it hit my heart, obviously that's a topic that needs to be discussed. So, and since I'm a transparent person, also I came up with this topic because even I, a time or two had to catch myself for dumping my baggage on my kids, on my son. But the difference is this: since my son first pulled my coattail at 5 years old, and I'll just use this as an example to start the show. He was 5, and I was working like 3 jobs, and I just thought that he wanted everything. I mean, I was raised by a single mom, and I think she did pretty good with me, but I wasn't raised in a double home. So therefore, when I got pregnant with my son, I decided, okay, I don't want him to be raised in a double home. And I thought that was something that had to be. So that was a part of my baggage that I carried, because I felt like I was missing something because I wasn't brought up in a double parent home, because see, TV, people paint that picture that if you're not born in a double parent home, there's something wrong with you. There's something going to be wrong with you. And then you grow up believing that you're less than because you didn't have your father around or your mother around. That's baggage, And then you make decisions based on that baggage. So I got married based on that baggage. I didn't get married because of love. And then that just added, that added to the situation. And so it was a very short-lived marriage, if you've been listening to my podcast show. And like I said, nevertheless, it was a blessing in disguise, because out of that, I was able to get, my stepson, and we're still in each other's life, and my son. So that was a blessing. But I didn't look at it as a blessing. I looked at it as a failure, because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't stay with somebody that, and don't get me wrong, I liked him in the beginning, but once I realized and I cared for him, but once it got to the point of the things happening, and I'm not going to get into the drama, but I realized that I wasn't in love. Because sometimes when you're in love, you take more shit. When you ain't in love, you be like, kick rocks real quick. So I found out the difference of love, caring, being in love, and things of that nature earlier on. And, I carried that baggage for a while, and thank God that I caught that part when my son was 1, and I was able to, get out of it and decide that, you know what, I'm still going to raise him the best I can on my own. And there went getting all the different jobs. Another part of the baggage, because now I'm thinking like, okay, I got to make up for the fact that I don't have any help, and I want to give this kid everything. So I'm working 3 jobs, but now I'm not spending quality time. And so at 5 years old, he pulled my coattail. I'm going out to, my night job, and he tells me or asks me, when am I going to spend quality time with him? And at that time, I didn't realize, okay, this was all a part of my baggage. But, that's why I'm telling you that this show is for me too. Because as I talk, I realize certain things. Sometimes I realize in the midst of the conversation that I'm having with you. And this is how it goes when you start deciding that, you know what, I'm going to start reflecting on myself. Let me see, what is it in me that I can fine tune for the benefit of my loved ones? Once you come to that realization, everybody benefits. Everybody. including you. Sometimes it might be hard, but you have to be willing to do it to make life better for yourself and for your loved ones, you know? So this is a new year, and as I said, I'm going to try my best to listen to my spirit about topics that can help us get to that dream, get to that goal, get to that vision of being the person that we always wanted to be. You know, being real with ourselves, getting to the root of every issue in our life, you know. And this is why, like I said, I don't take people personal anymore. I used to years and years ago, but I really don't. It's a lot of things that have been done to me, and I had to realize, like, I don't want that to be a part of my baggage. I want to, you know, I want to have baggage for vacations, for real vacations, not baggage internally that is just stuffed up with a lot of junk that I allow other people to put on me. And that's what it's all about. This is why I don't take people seriously. And you got to learn that, because it will affect you, and it'll affect the way you act, and therefore it will affect the way you treat your kids or the way you react to them. And sometimes it could be something small that they did, but then you go overboard because you still haven't dealt with certain issues within you, you know? And even me and my mom, you know, I love my mom to life. It's not nothing I wouldn't do for her. But we recently had a breakthrough on some situation that was bothering me pretty much for years out of my life. And she had to be willing to be open to listen and to hear me, not just to listen, because you can listen to your kids, but you have to be willing to hear them. And then I had to be willing to listen and hear her. And we're both grown. But this is all a part of it when you have baggage and you have not let it go or released it. It will affect. And sometimes it could be long term. But it's so many of us out here that we don't want to admit certain things in our lives. You know, we want to just be this perfect parent, and we want to paint this picture to our kids that mommy and daddy is perfect. We never did anything wrong, or we don't have no internal issues that we're dealing with. We're just perfect. We're just fine. That's what we want to paint to our kids. But that's the problem. And then you wonder why sometimes your kids start becoming distant from you or just start acting a certain way. Sometimes kids act a certain way because they feel like you're not listening to them. They feel like you don't hear them, because they know if they decide that they want to share certain things with you or it's something that's bothering them, you're just going to pretty much tell them, oh, it's okay, it'll go away, or, you know, you just write it off as nothing, as something small, when to your kid it's something big. But sometimes it could be a situation they want to talk to you about that you had in your own life and you haven't yet dealt with. So therefore, that situation that your kid wants to talk about or that's bothering them becomes a mirror to you, and you're not ready to look in that mirror. I had a show a couple shows back about, you know, who do you see in the mirror? It was something like that. And that's basically what I'm talking about. Sometimes your kids can be faced with the same issues that you dealt with as a kid, but because you never released it from your life from your spirit, your soul, your mind, your subconscious, now they're repeating that cycle and dealing with those same issues of not feeling valued or loved or supported, because that's how you feel. That's how you still feel. That's your baggage that you haven't addressed yet. Somewhere within your life, somebody made you feel, unloved or unvalued, or they didn't support you in the way that you wanted them to support you. You didn't feel appreciated by them. So now you're holding all that inside, and then you're reacting to your kid, or you're pretty much you're giving the same energy off to your kids. And that's not fair. All because you don't want to address the issue. And, in a respectable sense, sometimes we can carry baggage for years and years and years and not even know it, not even realize that we actually have an issue. We actually have a problem that we need to address, and it's affecting us. It's affecting the way we act. It's affecting the way we think. It's affecting the way we view life, view people. It's affecting the way we do our jobs, or it's affecting the type of crowd that we hang around. Meaning, like, if you don't feel loved or don't feel valued, you're going to hang around people that is just not good for you. They're not healthy for you. They're not healthy. They're not a healthy group of people that you should have around your kids, all because you didn't address that issue. That's a part of your baggage that you're dumping on your kids. Now you got people around your kids that really shouldn't be around your kids, that your kids are watching and learning bad behavior from, all because you don't feel valued enough inside yourself to be around better people. And this is what I'm saying about dumping the baggage on your kids. And then now when your kids get a little bit older, they're repeating the cycle and they start hanging with the wrong crowd. And then you got a problem with it. But you showed them that crowd first. You showed them that basically mommy, daddy can't do no better. They can't have better friends or better people that they need to be around. You showed them that, Or sometimes, if you have some type of an addiction and I'm saying this is a cycle, because sometimes your issues are so deep rooted. It comes from your parents, and then your parents got it from their parents. And at some point, somebody got to break the cycle. They say that, I read somewhere, I read so many different things, I can't tell you where, but what I read was that basically what you do, or the karma that you create lasts 7 generations. So if you have a family that you came from and everybody drinks a lot, and you look back through your family tree, you might have not everybody in your family, but you might be able to trace back and see, okay, say your father might drink a lot, then maybe their father might have drank a lot, or their uncle, or somebody within that family line drink a lot to the point that it's just, you think they're going to die or whatever. You know what I mean? It just keep repeating and repeating, and the problem is never stopped or solved. So when me and my mother had a discussion a couple of days ago, that broke the cycle for my son. So now in the next 7 years, he won't have to deal with the issues that me and my mom had. And that's how it goes. you know. Although I had been, this is another thing. When you have issues that you're dealing with, you need to be transparent with your kids and let them know, look, I act this way because of this, because I feel this way about me, or I have to work on this part of me. Because, see, when you start sharing things with your kids and you become transparent, they can understand you better. They can understand why you are overprotective. I'm overprotective because, something happened to me when I was your age. So I apologize if I'm just being too overprotective. You don't trust people because something happened to you when you was the same age as your kids, or even when they're younger, just when they're growing up, period. So now you're overprotective. And then now, if something was to happen to you today or tomorrow, who's going to protect them? You have to let your kids see the real world through their eyes. You can have 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids. Each one of them kids, you're going to have to come at it in a different way. Each one of those kids are going to look at you in a different light because they're all different. They're all unique, and they all are going to think differently. So while one kid might be like, oh, mommy cool or daddy cool, the other kid might be like, no, it's a problem. There's something wrong. They might be able to, see that you're not acting the way you need to act to a certain situation, They want to know why, mommy or daddy get so angry over things that they view as, dang, it's not that serious. It's a reason why you get that angry. It's something that's within you, some baggage that you haven't unpacked yet. You know what I mean? That you need to just unpack and put the stuff away. This is what I'm saying. There was a guest over the holiday event, and he brought his kids here, and this is why I don't say any names, but it was a guest anyway. But he brought his kids here, and the kids were, running around and stuff, and they seemed like good kids. I mean, I realized that they were running around because this is it's a peaceful place. It's not like, for kids. I don't know. You got to have some entertainment for them. Put it that way, because it's supposed to be a relaxing place. And I approached them and I was like, listen, we have games. I can, show you where the games are. You could take some games to the room and let them play. Or, we have Wi-Fi. And he was like, oh, no, they don't do Wi-Fi. They can't have Wi-Fi. I mean, they can't get on the internet, period, or whatever. And the kids were around about, I want to say maybe 8 and probably 6 or something like that. And I get it, but I was saying Wi-Fi to watch a movie, and then we have like this, we have a mocha factory where we make our own chocolate here. We have a humanitarian program, and they make coffee and chocolate. And I was like, take them on a tour. No, they can't have chocolate. It was like everything that probably would have made the kids visit a little bit funner was like, no, they can't have that. They can't do this. And it was like, they had to be with him. And I get it. You try to keep your kids away from candy, from the media, definitely. But to watch a movie, to, just have a piece of chocolate. And like I said, I'm not here to judge, but what I got from that was that he was overprotective and he's trying to shelter his kids from the world. And I get it. I totally get it. When you have kids, it's like they're so precious to you and you just want to protect them from everybody and everything. But you have to realize they're going to grow up. They're going to have to go out in the world. They're going to come across media, internet. They're going to come across this stuff, and you're not going to be there to protect them. So instead of shielding them from things like the internet and things of that nature, you explain to them why. You give them just a little bit of time and you watch it with them. Like, I used to watch shows with my son. I would let him watch stuff on his own, and then I would peep in there, and then, you got to be careful with these doggone cartoons. I'm telling you, because they real sneaky. They got some stuff going on in these cartoons. And I would sneak in and I would just look at him. Look and see what he's watching. And some of the times I'll be like, oh, no, you can't watch this. And he would be like, it's a cartoon. I'll be like, yes, it's a cartoon, but it's an adult cartoon. And you need to remain a kid for as long as you can. Enjoy your childhood for as long as you can, because when you get older, there's a whole lot of stuff that you got to face. So enjoy your childhood and watch things that's fun. Don't rush to learn about adulthood before your time, But yet, I would still explain to him what they was talking about and then tie that in with why he don't need to know all that right yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we try so hard to how I want to say it. Okay, I'm gonna skip that topic because I can't get that out the way I want to get it out. So, in other words, things like unforgiveness. I preach that so much because if you have kids and they're watching you, and say you have family, you have a small kid, your kid loves Uncle Tom or Aunt Angie, and you have a dispute with them, and now y'all not speaking. And now your kid is too young to understand, well, I want to go to Uncle Tom's house. I want to go to Aunt Angie's house. And you like, no, I'm not speaking to Aunt Angie right now. I'm not speaking to Uncle Tom right now. They don't get that. They don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? As long as Aunt Angie and Uncle Tom is not hurting your child, you got to learn how to separate that. Because now you're teaching your child how to become dysfunctional. You're teaching your child how to hold on to grudges. That's what you're doing. And now when they get older, this is what they're going to do. They're going to repeat it because this is what they saw mommy and daddy do. When they're mad at somebody, they don't speak to them forever. Now, if you would have took the approach and said something like, well, right now, mommy or daddy is just not. Me and Aunt Angie, we got to work out some things and allow us to work out some things. And then once we do, then I will allow you to go over there. That's better than saying, I ain't messing with her. I don't mess with her like that no more. That's better than saying that, because it changes the mindset of your child to understand that right now, mommy or daddy and Aunt Angie is having a little dispute. As long as you explain that, and then you got to explain what is a dispute. This is how I tried to raise my kids. This is how I raised my kids. If they ask me a question, why you not speaking to them? I would tell them flat out, My daughter, when she had her kids, she was asking me like, how is it that you and Mir have so much of a bond? What is it that I can do to have that bond? And these are the things that I would tell her. Like, look, they're kids, but they little adults running around with these little bodies. They understand what you're saying. Trust me. And you explain it to them until they understand. So just because they haven't been in a grade yet to get that spelling word, when you're conversating with them and you say a certain word and they ask you, what does that mean? Don't write it off and think that they're too young to understand. No, they get it, long as you explain it to them. And that's how I raised my son. I would explain every word, like, this means this. And this is why at 5 years old, he said to me, when am I going to spend some quality time with him? And he knew exactly what he was talking about. So when you're going through things, whether it's internal or with somebody, you need to have that conversation with your kids. Now, don't overload them. Of course, have good judgment as to their age and how much to put on them. But nevertheless, as they get older and they're at their age where they accumulate friends and relationships and things of that nature, definitely sit down and have conversations with them. I have apologized to my son, to my daughter on different occasions about how I act towards a certain situation or towards them when they did a certain thing. I allow them to tell me how they feel about my reaction to certain things. I'll allow that. And I will apologize to them. Just because they're my kids don't mean they don't deserve that respect. And I think that's where we get it wrong. We think that they're my kids, so they don't understand, and I don't owe them any explanation. I'm the mom, I'm the dad, I'm paying the bills, and that's that. That's how we look at it. Or sometimes we can be ashamed of our past. We could be ashamed of what it is that we're dealing with internally that we feel like we can't handle ourselves. And we will allow that shame to, again, take over and react certain ways to our kids when certain situations come up that touch whatever it is that we are ashamed about. The bottom line is, whatever you are angry about, whatever you feel ashamed about, you definitely owe it to your kids to, if you're reacting to them in a certain way or if it's affecting them in a certain way, you owe it to them to have a talk with them so that they can understand mommy or daddy. And they might not get it right away, but at least you're telling them that you're working on it. If it's an addiction or whatever, at least you had that conversation. You gave them that respect to let them know, you know what? I acknowledge that this is affecting you and I'm working on it. I'm going to do better. I'm going to work at this so that this issue goes away and it doesn't affect us anymore, or it doesn't affect you anymore. We're not perfect, y'all. We all make mistakes. We all, kids, there is really no true blueprint. All we could do is share stories about how we brought our kids up with the younger generation and what worked for us and what didn't work for us. That's what I do. I share stories with my daughter. And with my stepson whenever we talk. But the thing is, their kids all have different personalities. Everything is not going to apply to them. So you can try something that someone else suggests if it's a good thing. But if it don't work, don't think it's something wrong with your kid. It's just that you got to apply something else to them. And that's it, So many people try to tell me how to raise my son. So many people try to tell me what not to do. But at the end of the day, you know your kid. You birthed your kid. If you the dad, you was hopefully there for the kid. And if you wasn't there and you're just coming in their life, then you need to learn your kid, for yourself. Not all from the mom or not all from the dad, because kids have different relationships with their moms and their dads. If they're both in their life or if they're not. Kids have different relationships. And that's how it goes. So the way the mom connection is with the kid is not going to be the way the dad is. Connection with the kid is. So, if you both got issues going on and you got one child, that's a lot of baggage to dump on that child. He getting it from the mom, he getting it from the dad. It's like, and then you wonder why kids act the way they act. We as adults owe it to ourselves and to our kids to work out our baggage. We owe it to ourselves to unpack our baggage and unpack. Just unpack, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Little by little. It's not going to happen overnight. But as long as you work towards the goal of getting rid of any type of baggage you think you might have within yourself, then that's all that matters. Sometimes as parents, when you got certain things that you're dealing with, as far as when you was a kid, or things that you felt like wasn't right in your childhood, we can try to overcompensate for that by maybe buying our kids, just giving them everything that they want. Maybe because we always wanted certain things and our parents couldn't give it to us. So now we want to bombard our kids with materialistic things, and really you're buying your kids affection and love. That's what you're doing. If you're not balancing it out with attention and the materialistic things, if it's just overboard, that's still dumping your baggage. You think you're doing something good, but it's really not good. It's hurting them, because now when they get older, they identify their status with stuff, with materialistic stuff. If they don't have all this materialistic stuff, then they think that they're less than. Now you done started a whole nother root to grow. So we got to be careful. This parenthood thing, it can get a little tricky at times. It can be a little complicated at times. But if we are willing to listen and hear our kids, not even just in talking to us, but if we're willing to watch our kids' actions with other people, just by doing that, sometimes you can pick up that, wow, why are they acting this way with that kid? Why are they reacting this way when I tell them to do this? Sometimes it's just them growing up. But a lot of times, if it's something that's just not, that you don't think is so normal, you need to find out why. It could be just something that's going on at school. Maybe they could be getting bullied, something like that. But nevertheless, when you pay more attention to your kids, you don't let them just come home from school and just be on a video game all day or be on the internet all day, but you time that thing out. Like my daughter, she know. And she let my grandkids get on their little iPads for a half an hour a day. We've had that talk. Like, do not let the TV and the internet be the babysitter. Spend time with them. Let them know that's how they learn love. That's how they learn that they're valued. This is how they learn that you support them, because in the midst of you spending time with them and stopping whatever you're doing, they get to learn that they're important. They know that, okay, mommy and daddy will stop when I got something to say, when I got something to talk about, when I'm excited about something. They will stop and give me some attention, you know? Now they feel all just because you stopped to give them attention, you stopped what you were doing to give them a little attention, you didn't let the TV or the internet become their babysitter. Now, guess what? They're going to grow up feeling loved, valued, appreciated, respected, and supported. All because you stopped and gave them some time. All because you're telling them why they only can be on the internet for a half an hour a day. Why they can't watch TV for more than an hour a day. And they need to focus more on reading and writing and learning, you know, because you want better for them, because you want them to do better than you did. This is how we should want our kids to be. We should want them to do better. We shouldn't be trying to compete against our kids because our life didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. I see some parents do that. They will compete against their own kids. They can be jealous of their own kids because their kids are doing better than them. You should be happy. I want my kids. Every young person that I, let call me mom, or I'm a mom too. I feel like I'm a mom too. That's what I push to them. Look, I want you to do good. I want you to be the best, whatever it is, whatever field they're studying in school. I want them to be the best at it. I want all of them to surpass me. Because that's what life is about. Life is about when we have kids, or when we are guardians over kids, or we're mentors over kids, is helping them to become better than you, helping them to surpass you, helping them to not have the same issues that held you back. That's what life is about, helping the next generation to become better. Because guess what? When we help the next generation become better and we become older, now we're taken care of. And I'm not saying taken care of in a way of, oh, your kids is taking care of you. I'm talking about the world becomes a better place because we are supporting our kids. We're loving our kids. We're giving attention to our kids. We're valuing them. We're respecting them. We're supporting them in everything, every endeavor that they go after. I don't care how many they try. They have to figure it out. They have to figure out what it is that they're good at. If your parents didn't support you with your dreams and your visions, don't limit your kids. That's not cool. Shoot, you never know what they will become. Just because your parents might have worked a 9 to 5 and your kid is a dreamer, then all you have to do is you just have to make sure that you help him or her structure their dreams and their vision. Help them balance it out with the real life stuff. That's all you got to do. But don't deprive your kids of the things that you didn't get because you didn't get them. Don't deprive your kids of the love that you didn't get. Don't do that. Let your kids be the thing that helps you to heal. Give them what you didn't get. That's how you heal. If you didn't get the love that you wanted, you didn't get the appreciation and the respect that you wanted, then give that to your kids. And believe me, that's how you will heal. You can heal through your kids. Instead of putting baggage on your kids, let your kids help you to heal. That's what we need to do in a good way. Because you could take that sometimes. Some people could take that and go totally left with that. So I'm hitting my mark, and That's what I'm about this year. I just want us all to become better people, do better things with our life. And understand, you are never too old. You're never too old to get it right. Don't think if you're retired that, game over. No, stop living like a retired person. Like a retired person that feel retired. Let's say it that way. Because some retired people go out there and really live their life. They go out there and do the damn thing. But then you got the other group that's just same thing, different day. Do your dreams. Go out there. Go after them. Set your goals. Accomplish them. If you're older, set short goals. You know what I mean? You can still have what it is that you always wanted. You just might have to come at it at a different angle and shorten the length of time that you structure to get it, to achieve it. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. Like I said, stop dumping baggage on your kids. Be real with yourself. This is the top of the year. Take out that pen and pad. Start reflecting. Start writing down the things that you have been carrying for years and years. Write the person's name next to it who you feel like put that on you. Forgive that person. Release what it is. You don't have to deal with that person. I keep telling y'all that. But you have to release it. You have to. Because these are the things that make us sick, and that could become a part of baggage. When you make yourself sick, now sometimes it's our kids that have to take care of us, and now their life is kind of stopped in the middle because they got to take care of you because you never got over the depression, the stress, the shame, and now it's making you sick physically. That's not fair. So, everybody, come on now. Let's release. Let go. Regain your power. And go out here and do the damn thing. This is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself, saving you from some real bull-ish. And this is Chronicles of Living podcast show. You can catch me on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, iTunes, so many different platforms. Just Google Chronicles of Living podcast show. And make sure you check out the blog, chronicles-of-livin.com. I love you guys. Until until Wednesday, 7 p.m., go out there, y'all. Do the damn thing. I love y'all. Peace. Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin.com. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.